Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG-TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome in, race fans. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG-TV. I'm Radio Man Dan Diker. Along with me is Paul Reichert, Billy Doc Niles. Coming off of a interesting week. I spent an entire day in a boat Monday, on my boss's boat. Got to take Tuesday off because they took us to brunch.
I thought you were the boss.
Well, I don't own the building.
Oh, okay.
And then went to Kaukauna Tuesday night. Hung out with some NASCAR guys. Total of 5 of them. Saw one heck of a truck race, one heck of a super late model race, and fireworks. And there was a fireball. Chuck Hausman, who is now Penguin Jr., he might be losing a job here real quick, the way that Chuck came on strong Tuesday night, took one for the team for us. And Kevin and I, and Dave Dewey, and Kevin's dad sitting in the front row. 20 laps to go, and as soon as Paulie Shafer wins the race, 2 huge fireballs. It was like what is the group out of Minnesota?
Fireball, or hairball.
Hairball. These things were like mushroom clouds, and people like 30 rows up could feel the heat off. And these were on the back, behind the back straightaway of Kaukauna.
Nice.
Man, Greg McCart's knocked it through the ballpark on that one. So that's not how I got all this. So I got tan on Monday. If I'd have been closer, I would have had 3rd degree up here and would have had some serious problems going on. So yeah, coming up with the show, we're going to recap La Crosse, we're going to recap Tomah, and you're going to hear from Luker Fenahus, Sammy Smith, and Paul Shafer Jr. That was 1, 2, and 3 at the big $250, $10,000 to win race on Tuesday night. Before we get started, huge shock rolled through Monday evening when I was contacted by 4 members of the Catone family that a longtime friend of mine, Greg Catone, had suddenly passed away on Monday night. Still unsure of what the cause was. I'm not going to get into the preliminaries or whatnot, but I do know that the funeral is at the Sonnenberg Family Funeral Home in Tomah on Sunday, August 8th from noon until 2. And I know I will definitely be there. I've been announcing Greg and Cal, who is Greg's dad, and Ralph for many, many, many years at probably 5 or 6 different racetracks. Excuse me, and as long as they've been all part of the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Series. So today's show is in honor of a longtime friend, Greg Catone, who I know, Paul, you knew him quite well. You probably raced against Cal. And
my dad raced against Ralph. I raced a couple of times against him, but not as much as my dad did. And Ralph has been in and out of La Crosse. Ralph and Cal built cars together. So Ralph has been in and out of La Crosse a bunch of times. And now he's really happy running this limited schedule with the Vintage Series.
So yeah, R.I.P. Greg Catone. That was a huge shock to a lot of us here on Monday. So let's get into our recap portion of the program. We're going to take you back to the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. We had a jam-packed crowd for 4 divisions and Trailer Race of Destruction that even at 8 o'clock, when I looked out the back gate, or the back over my announcing tower, they were from the ticket gate down the road, not only into the parking lot, but darn near all the way down to 16.
Yeah, I was down doing my pit reporting, doing my victory lane interviews, and I asked you somewhere around 7:30, quarter to 8, what's the line look? And all you would say was long. We warned people. We warned you. Get there early to get a good seat, and everybody
September
waited till 7:30.
11th is Night of Destruction. Go to lacrossespeedway.com and click right here, buy now, and get your advance tickets right now. You're not going to have to stand in that line.
And you don't have to do it for just night
45 minutes to an hour.
You don't have to do it for just Night of Destruction. You can do it for any night, even Oktoberfest right now.
Oh, no. It's just regular season.
It's just regular season?
Regular season.
They don't have Oktoberfest up yet?
Night of Destruction. We'll let you know about Oktoberfest once we get into September.
Aha.
So, Steve Carlson began to pull away from the pack for the NASCAR late models about 3/4 of the way through this one, and he was on fire. For 2 weeks in a row now, Steve has really had a rocket ship of a NASCAR late model. Over the final 8 laps, Nick Mergic was coming on strong, but just could not make up much ground on Steve Carlson. And Carlson rolls away with his 3rd feature win of 2021. So they made a couple of adjustments after the dash. The car was unstoppable from there. Cole Howland, a very impressive 3rd place finish this weekend.
Yeah, Cole, he got out to the front early, and And you just could watch Carlson started 5th row outside, and by the 5th lap, he was already in 3rd. I mean, that car was strong. He could put it high or low. You know, like he said, he made that adjustment. Boom. That car was on a rail.
Sportsman, past 3 weeks, we have seen an increase of sportsman cars. Either 1 week we've got 5 or 6 modified joining, but last week only 1 modified. And 8 of the sportsman cars. That was a good race.
Yeah, that was a really good race. You know, 5 laps in, Fire Marshal Bill Schott takes the lead, but he's got that pickup truck of Ed Ross just glued to his back bumper. And we've been watching Schott all year, 2nd place to someone or other. I mean, he had like 3 or 4 2nd place finishes. Finally breaks through, gets his first feature win of the season, holds off Ed Ross. Sam Niles had a great battle with the 97 Ford, Bob Ford. Yep. A great battle for 3rd and 4th also. So great battles all over the track. I believe we had, 10 or 12 sportsmen this week? It's getting to be quite the popular class here coming down to the end of the season.
Ed Ross picked up his 2nd fast time of his career.
Yes, he did.
In the pickup truck. Jason Bolster saw the bullseye on Tom Farah's back, and he kind of broke something.
Yes, you were wondering how much longer Farah could keep this up with his streak in the division here in the hobby stocks. Bolster got the lead about a third of the way through the race. In the last 6 laps, Farah was right on him, trying to make a move around the outside a few times, but couldn't do it. And Jason Bolster makes a long overdue return to victory lane, winning the hobby stock feature, ending Thomas Farah's 4-sweep streak and 4-feature win streak.
And Bolster also said fast time, so his streak was broken right off the bat. Tom knew it. He told me in pre-race he was pretty upset because he knew that he was about a half a second slower than Bolster.
We were watching him in practice and qualifying, really loose off the corners. He had a hard time keeping that car underneath him.
We've had a lot of first-timers at lacrosse here this year. Had another one in the street stocks. We call this guy Mr. Smiley because anywhere you go, we had him on the show, drinking with him at the fair. I mean, anywhere you go, Pete Thompson of Hickston has this huge smile on his face, and man, he did for this one here. Stuck to the inside. He was holding up Rob Stanfield, John Heben, all the best of the best. There was no way that Pete Thompson was going to lose this race. Bill, you were down there watching this race as well, and you just got that sense when someone's going to get their first win, their foot's not coming off that accelerator no matter what.
Yep, and you could tell he was taking her in just a tad bit harder than normal going into turn 3 where I was standing down towards that area. And he wasn't to be denied. There was not much Stanfield could do with it. He even opened up the bottom for Stanfield, and Stanfield couldn't even take advantage of it. That's how good that 91 car was hooked up last Saturday.
Trailer Race of Destruction went to a guy, Bill, or Paul Reichert, who's got the name of Reckless.
Oh, yes. 21 competitors started out in the trailer race. A lot of smashing, crashing, destroying of all sorts of campers, boats, and trailers. And then,
of course, a snowmobile.
Yes.
And a trailer with 2 wheelchairs on it. Didn't understand that one. Yeah. And then one of the trucks had a pop-up that was bolted to the top of his truck. Yeah. They're getting creative.
And when it came time for the fans to decide the winner, the reckless one, John Clausen, got the loudest support to score another smashing success in the trailer race.
When you back up and take aim at a camper that is parked underneath the flag mat, you're going to get a lot of brownie points.
Well, if you didn't see it, folks, and hopefully we can get this in here, someone lost a trailer under the flag stand in turn 4. It's way too wide for someone to go up there. Clausen snuck his way up there and was pushing that camper down the front straightaway and then took off to try to come back around. Tyler Mickshill just missed hitting that thing, and it's in the middle of the racetrack. And then whoever had the 608 van that had no front end on it, he just grazes it. Here comes Clausen right behind, digs his way in, smashes that thing to the wall where you and I had to
we had to back up. Yes, we did.
The wall kind of V'd on us.
He drove right into that bad boy.
Then he gets stuck, and he's for about 5 minutes. You see his truck shaking as he's trying to get out of this thing. He pulls out, and the crowd goes off. What does he do then? Goes back around one more time, and then nails it again. Incredible.
Definite fan favorite right there. Clausen, that was his first time or second time back?
Third time back. He's ran 2 hobby stock races, and then he ran
since he had his unfortunate accident. So it was great to see Clausen put a good show on for the fans.
When we come back, quite a bit was going on at the Tomah Sparta Speedway 6-shooter mania. That's next on KQEG TV.
7 years and counting. Hi, Jerry here. For 7 years in a row, Big Boar Barbecue has been voted the best barbecue and caterer by the people of La Crosse County. I am humbled by your praise. We work our hardest to provide good food and service to any size group, from a small lunch to large wedding reception. We can provide full service or just drop off the food for you to serve. But dates are filling fast, so call us today. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering, Highway 16, West Salem. A delicious mouthful.
At Big Boar Barbecue.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back, race fans. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Paul and Reichert and myself, Dan Diker. You can check us out on YouTube at Seven Rivers Racing. Forgot to mention our fantastic sponsors.
Big Boar Barbecue, fansarena.com,
Yes.
Carry Heating and Air Conditioning. It is warm again, folks, so make sure that air conditioner is running properly. And it's going to get cool here in the next 5 or 6 weeks, so you might want to get that heater checked out, get it tuned up before it all happens. And our friends at Epic Media and Vinyl and Back 40 Wraps, what a great job they did with our sign. Thank you all for being advertising partners in 2021.
Talking about Big Bar Barbecue, I will be DJing the huge La Crosse Fairgrounds 608 Piston Pounders car show coming up this Saturday from 9 until about 3 or 4, and then doing the races afterwards. Big Bar Barbecue will be out there, and I guarantee you Jerry's got his fancy-looking pickup truck. Ooh, I love that thing. So check it out. It's free to get in, folks. If you got a big old time you want to roll out there, bring it out there. That's this Saturday at the La Crosse Fairgrounds, starting at 9 o'clock, and I think awards are somewhere right around 3. So we're going to have a great time out there, and they've got a ton of stuff. You're going to be Mr. Prize Man on Saturday.
Yes.
Paul's going to be toting all kinds of stuff around that we're going to be giving away, and
Yes.
you stay away from that 50-50.
Yeah, whatever.
Tomah Sparta Speedway had the 6-shooter Mania 20-lap feature, and a ton of 6-shooters came up from all over the place. Rookie Brandon Adams came out of nowhere to pull ahead of Chuck Muller, who ended up not finishing this race. And then, well, you know it. Here comes Matt Moore. It's the mastermind of the Malibus, who's working his way through the field. He gets to run Muller for second on lap 15. Only needed 2 laps to catch up to Adams, but then something happened. Moore began to slip backwards through the field. He sliced a tire with about 1 to go, or else he could have won this race. He goes back to 5th. Adams, a rookie, claims the big payday in his first ever feature win for the 6-shooter Mania. Not a bad way to do that one.
That's awesome. You know, it's especially a rookie. I mean, that's just got to make him feel great, because he's going to want to do bigger and better things now that he knows he can run with the best in the Midwest, or at least in Western Wisconsin.
Well, the best in the Midwest are the modifieds at Tomah.
Well, of course they are. Nick Quinnell, last week's feature winner, he'd eat away at Kevin Seidler's lead. Seidler got out to a lead. Quinnell would start chasing him down. They get going at it, and with about 3 laps to go, Quinnell's going to try and dive low. Seidler's not going to have anything to do with that. Little bit of contact. They both survive. Seidler runs away with the feature and gets to ring the bell.
Going to see if Seidler comes back to Tomah at all this year now, because I ran into him at the gas station the other day. He's in the points running at Dells Raceway Park. So he's been kind of using Tomah as a testing tool.
They didn't have mods last week, so he had a free night.
He's in the points running, so we'll see if he shows back up to Tomah or not. Sportsman newcomer Henry Vian came to Tomah to test and tune his car and his new tires for Dells. What a night for him.
Yes, he got the lead early. Got into a battle with James Hendricks Jr. in that Buick Grand National. That's a pretty slick-looking car. But on lap 10, Vian began to slowly pull away from Vian. Hendricks tried to make a few more moves, but couldn't get closer enough to Vian, who ends up claiming the victory in the Sportsman feature.
Quite a few Hornets came out, and somewhat of a relative newcomer, Matt Bean out of Sparta, was leading this one around in his newly decorated Hornet car. That's until Paul Finch broke free and started climbing his way through the field. Paul Finch works his way up towards the top. Here comes defending track champ Sean McCarthy and current point leader Mason Morphy. This was a heck of a three-way battle as they were going all the way through. Unlike last week, Finch was able to fight out the challenges of Morphy. Great blocking he was doing in turns 3 and 4 primarily. And Finch, believe it or not, that was only his first win of the year.
Yeah, first victory,
Morphy's
yeah.
won everything else pretty much.
Yeah, 3 wins for Morphy this year, and hey, good to see Paul Finch back in victory lane.
August 29th, excuse me, is the second coming of Hobby Fest. They don't even have the official entry forms out yet, or a contingency list. And the first count is 25. Now, we had 37 time in last year. We started all 36 in the feature. 25 right now before an entry list has been posted.
That's nice. That's awesome. And we're hoping to get, what, at least 40, 45?
Yeah,
this year?
45 to 50 would be real nice.
Yes.
And they're out there. A lot of guys wanted to sit back, didn't even know about it last year. Saw some of the video and the results on Facebook.
Well, and you would think they'd read that contingency list, excuse me, and they'd think, wow, I got to be a part of this.
I'm trying to think, whoever had, well, I saw some other contingencies. Whoever gets last place this year, Jamie Hurd, J&O Collectibles, one of the sponsors of the program, has donated a bunch of autographed NASCAR stuff. So whoever gets last place is getting about $400 in contingencies already.
Wow, there's incentive.
You see, last place, the slowest in qualifying, and then there was another one. So Jamie Hurd from J&L has 3 contingencies out there. And there's some other big ones. Somebody passed away not too long ago. His son ran last year out of Minnesota, so they're going to keep their business alive with some donations. But yeah, just because you don't win this thing, last year, second to last, walked out with like $500 or $600.
Oh wow,
that's not bad cheese right there.
That's hobby stock money for a year and a half.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, you pay less for the car than you do for what you just take away there. So,
well, a lot of drivers have no excuse now. It's been well advertised. They know what's coming up. So far, I've seen drivers from 5 different racetracks from 3 different states. And once we get the tire thing figured out, we're going to be seeing those numbers continually jump. Tomah Sparta Speedway.com, or find us on Facebook. You can find all the rules and whatnot for the second annual Hobby Fest, which is Sunday, August 29th. And contingencies, you'll be able to see that. And the first 25 that signed up already, you'll be able to find that list as well.
We should mention the hobby stock feature.
Yeah, we didn't do the hobby stock feature.
But hit it.
All right, well, Chad Lees got out in front, led for much of the race, but Andy Moore and Alex Ruder tracking him down. Moore caught up to Lees, got on the outside with 5 laps to go, and they got into a heated battle for that win. And
Which
coming
was
up,
just like the heat race.
Yeah, just coming out of turn 4, coming the white flag, they made a little contact, and Moore just got ahead of Lees to capture yet another checkered flag.
Again, TomahSpartaSpeedway.com, find out more about the big Hobby Fest coming up on August 29th. Went to WIR Racetrack on Tuesday night for the big $10,000 to win 250 lap race. You're going to hear and see for the top 3 next on KQEG TV.
Are you tired of the typical fundraiser? Well, Big Boar Barbecue can offer you an alternative. How about a pork dinner? Pork, beans, and slaw. A complete meal. It's different, it's fast, and it's easy. And you don't pay for what you don't sell, guaranteeing you make a profit. So if your church, school, sports team, or special cause needs a fundraiser, call us today. We've helped all sorts of groups raise thousands of dollars. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16, West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
At Big Boar Barbecue.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that really actually matter. Like figuring out which remote turns the TV on, or the smell in the vegetable crisper that in no way can be vegetables, or finding your phone when you leave it on vibrate. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Welcome back, race fans. One more time, 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Going to step away from the Crosse Speedway and the Tomah Sparta Speedway and take you to Kaukauna, home of the Wisconsin International Raceway. 4 NASCAR stars were there Tuesday night. Eric Almirola, William Byron, Ty Majeski, Derek Crouse. As a matter of fact, that was the big cheese there. Ran for $10,000 and 250 laps. I mean, attrition was a big part of this one. Ultra-fast Casey Johnson runs out of fuel. Derek Crouse runs out of fuel. Tomah broke an upper trailing arm. He was done. 25th place for Ty. That's crazy talk.
Didn't he set the track record too?
Not only did Tomah set the WIR track record Tuesday night, he set a Midwest Tour track record.
Holy cow.
Tuesday night.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Six drivers broke the track record, by the way.
Yep, he was the one to beat, but unfortunately, mechanical issues beat him.
Third place goes to Luker Fenahus. You want to talk about a hot shoe? He's been in 3 $10,000 to win races this year, a first, a second, and a third. Here's what Luke had to say when he took third.
Let's talk about your run tonight, first of all.
I'm really happy with it. We struggled here the past 2 years, so it for sure was a good points night. You know, Paulie was fast. He took tires early, so I was surprised on how he was going to finish off, but overall a really good run. I'm really happy with it. Qualified second, so we made some good moves, aggressive moves, but that's what this place is.
Sammy Smith sure gave you a run there. It looks like you had a couple of chances to get by him, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's super hard to pass here. You really gotta have a better car than he does, but.
Not only is he part of the Kawicki driver development program, not only is he on top of the ARCA Midwest Tour standings right now, he's only 17. Holy cow.
Talked to Tomah Tuesday night. Ty says he plans on running the entire ARCA Midwest Tour series. So one of those two is going to get that championship, I believe. But Ty also said that he's got a couple of truck races maybe coming up here. He really couldn't tell us too much more about that. Sammy Smith, who ran for Kyle Busch Motorsports last year, Kyle ended up dropping him, so he's somewhat on his own, but he's got some contingencies there with Toyota. Finished second, and well, about halfway through this, his emotions kind of came out.
Sammy Smith, you come up the bridesmaid tonight in this one. Talk about your run.
Yeah, it was not a bad night. We were in the top 5 all night, and felt like we made good changes on that brake. Just I feel like I should have told him a little more I needed, because I felt we fought the same thing both runs and just was a little better that last run. I feel like if we had a little bit more, I could have gotten it. Just on the restart, he jacked me up, and then I lost it all and had to catch it back up. And then when I got there, we stuck over the high.
I was while we were watching the laps as the laps were winding down. You got with like 6 tenths, 5 tenths, 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths, and all of a sudden it started going the other way.
Yeah, because I caught him there right in the center of the corner, and I was under him. He kind of chopped me, and I didn't want to spin him or anything, so I let out of it. When I did that, I kept fighting to the end, but there really was no home because it was hot. And I was fighting, I don't know how far back, 10 car lengths, and he 4 cars on me, tried to defend, and it was just it could have been one spot better, but congrats to those guys.
You've been running a different series around the country. What's it like to come up here at the Midwest Tour and have a race like this that finishes less than about 2 hours?
Yeah, it was a good race. I felt like last year I didn't run very well, and we came here this year and ran better. And it feels good to come out and run with these guys and run good. It's just so frustrating when that close. And when you can see it and feel it, and you get there, and I almost had him off of 2 there on the restart, and then he jacked me up and just couldn't get to him.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, Dan, I watched that video. Smith had a shot at Shafer more than once.
4 times over the last 10 laps.
Just couldn't get it done, but, you could see the emotion there. You can't be mad at second place at WIR with that crowd.
The winner, the king of Grundy County Raceway down in Illinois. What does he have down there? 7 wins this year?
6, I believe.
Paul Shafer Jr. Guy's got a full mullet. And we did ask him if he was going to cut his hair. I was hanging out with him and Mr. Crosse before the race for quite a bit. And he's got like the perfect style mullet going on. Had never won a race like this. And man, oh man, I tell you what, he's $10,000 richer. And he said even as he was a kid, he dreamt about a race like this. And he said he felt like an antelope.
On that last restart, tell me what was going through your mind first?
Well, from about 85 to go, all I could do is run. Just run. They got better tires, run. 110%, just go, 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 go. All that kept running through my mind was one of them like Planet Earth things, and they're chasing a little antelope down through the woods. And the antelope just running. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna catch me for sure. So I don't know. They didn't catch me. I don't know how they didn't catch me, but we were running, and here we are.
Yeah, you guys got tires about 30 laps before everybody else did. That could kind of worry you there near the end?
Yeah, we were a little nervous. I'd done that before, and it didn't pan out. And all I knew was we just had to go. We put her on kill and just went. They got underneath me a couple times and kind of rubbed doors a little bit and just kept going and gained some distance, and it kind of leveled out and kind of worked out.
Talk about the last restart with you and Sammy Smith. Got a little tight there.
Yeah, he drove in underneath me. I don't know if he was there or not there, and then he was there, and we bounced off each other. I got clear and ran away. Put her back on run mode.
What does it mean to win a race like this?
This race is awesome. I've been coming here since like 2015, and back then, like in 2015, I graduated high school. I was a kid with a dream. I wanted to win this race. It was 250 laps, 10,000 to win. It's one of the biggest races in the Midwest. And like I say, I was a kid with a dream, and I wanted to win it. And now we won it. I'm kind of like the man that did it. You know what I mean? So it's awesome.
Has it hit you yet?
No, that's okay.
Last question. Will you get your hair cut now?
No. No, not a chance. I just got a haircut a couple weeks ago, so just let it grow. Let it grow.
Anybody else?
Yeah. At what point did you think you might be able to outrun, like you said?
When I crossed the start-finish line and the checkers were flying. Until that point, I was running. I kept hearing on the radio, clear by 5, clear by... The radio would cut out and it would say half, and I'm like, oh God, he's back by half, I gotta go. Then I'd hear 7, 4.5, and I'm like, I just gotta go, just go. And the laps were ticking down, and he'd say 7, 6, and it felt like forever. It just took forever. And then finally, checkers went, we're still leading it, and now we're sitting here.
Did you want to know where he was? Did it matter?
I needed to know. Every corner, every straightaway, I needed to know where was he at, because I needed to know if I needed to be on the bottom or if I could maybe make a small mistake and still be okay. So, like I say, I needed to know exactly where he was, so I knew where I needed to be.
But more about where he was on the track than where he was in relation to your back bumper.
Where he was in relation to me. That's what I needed to know.
Did your communication come into focus when you had 10 to go? Because it was like you put the foot on the floor, and that was like the biggest lead you had for about 10 to 15 laps.
I just had to go. I wanted to go. If there was 10 car lengths, 20 car lengths, I didn't care how bad it looked or how good it looked. I just knew I had to go. And if I was further ahead, I had a better shot of winning than if he was right there.
Kevin Ramsell and I and his dad and Chuck Hausman, we were right down there in Victory Lane when he pulled in. And he, number one, he was out of breath. He was profusely sweating. And that was one of the most excited drivers I've seen win a Midwest Tour race in quite a while. Said he's been watching that when he was a kid. The first one he did, he graduated high school, was in no man's land. And I tell you what, for a guy that can just dominate in Indiana and Illinois to come up and beat the talent, and this was one of the biggest talented fields I'd ever seen in Kaukauna.
He's having a career year down there at his home track. It was Grundy, I believe.
Yeah, Grundy.
He's having a career year down at Grundy. He's the man to beat down there, and he came up and basically showed him why he's the man down there. Took everybody to task here at WIR this week. Biggest win of his career. He could be one to watch at Oktoberfest.
Tell you, Majeski dropped out, Casey Johnson dropped out, Derek Crouse dropped out, Eric Almirola dropped out, Byron ended up dropping. I mean, some of the big names with about 80 to go were pretty much out of this race. You had 18 left, 12 in the lead lap, and once Shafer got on front in a restart, just took care of John DeAngelis. Interesting note before we go. If John DeAngelis would have won last night, it was his 40th career start in the ARCA Midwest Tour. What a neat little thing that would have been. Wow. But he had a solid run.
And you know, this win this week makes up for that the shot at the win last year, only to fall to third on that last restart.
Yeah, we were there for that one as well. So I want to thank the guys. I got to thank Greg McCarnes and the entire staff at Kaukauna for having us up there. It was a great time. So a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people watched the show on YouTube, which is Seven Rivers Racing. That'll do it for us. When we come back next weekend, a lot more coming from Tomah and La Crosse and wherever I decide to venture out to. That's Bill, that's Paul, I'm Dan, that's Jesse way back behind the green curtain. Have a great week. Support your local short tracks. This is Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV.
You've been watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Thanks for watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
Would you like a job making people happy? Well, I believe we can help you out. Big Boar Barbecue and Catering has openings for both full and part-time work. Days, nights, or weekends. Need to be free on weekends or need to be done by the time the kids get out of school? We can work with that. We need hard-working, energetic people who love to make people happy because our food makes everybody happy. Join the team at Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16, West Salem. Now that's a mouthful.
Big Boar Barbecue.